everybody. Today's topic is on karma and frequency. So today's disclaimer, always take what resonates and leave what doesn't. Let's see, we have Socrates here. He knows a few more things now. He knows that he is, everything is here and now, and all is the one, and one is all. We have a few updates. We took a break last week, so if you're on the YouTube video, go ahead and pause and have a quick read for yourself. Keep yourself up to date on the things I shared in the WhatsApp chat. See, last week we had a progress recognition submitted that they would like me to read out loud from one of our members, Stephanie. She said that last week, after the All That Is presentation, she had a breakthrough. She has a Facebook friend who posted about feeling God in her garden with the sun shining and her flowers blooming. Previously, any mention of God or Jesus would get a sarcastic reaction out of her and maybe even an eye roll. She used to have a negative view on the Christian religion due to how she experienced it growing up. But after my session, she was able to equate the name God to source and all that is instead of a God that is vengeful, judgmental, or punishing. She was able to rewire her thinking to see others' experience with God as a positive, beautiful thing. The religious Facebook posts now fill her with warmth and joy and put a smile on her face because her perspective has shifted. So she's now able to equate God to unconditional love. And she says, big thanks to Justin and all his help and effort in his teachings. Thank you, and I'm happy to facilitate that shift in perspective for you. All right, for a recap, we understand what we are not. We have an understanding of the things that we can use as permission slips to help us be more of ourselves. We've got an awareness of the ways that negativity slips into our lives. We've got an understanding of some positives that we can implement. We learned about the presence and the now. We covered the here of the here and now. Next up, we'll be covering karma and frequency. But first, grounding meditation. I want you guys to go ahead and visualize a safe, relaxing place for you and find a image like the one on the screen or feeling for yourself of vibration, frequency, your own resonance that spreads across the universe, and use that as a focus as we go into this meditation. So let's go ahead and take a moment to close our eyes, get comfortable. Notice your body. Go ahead and feel where you're supported on your seat, by the ground beneath your feet. Let yourself soften into that support. It's no effort, just trust that you're always supported. Now bring your awareness to your breath. No need to change it. Just notice it moving in and out. Like a wave, a rhythm, a ripple. Inhale and exhale. You are alive in this moment, and that's all that matters. Nowhere to be, just here and now. Now imagine your breath as sound, as vibration. Each breath is a tone, subtle but real. You are tuning your system back to your natural frequency, back to balance, back to presence, back to now. From the base of your spine, your root, feel the grounding support of the earth, holding you steady and wise. From the top of your head, your crown, feel an openness to the greater field of awareness, to guidance, insight, and harmony. As you breathe, feel the in-between spaces, the subtle signals, a sensation, a thought, a feeling passing through. You are not those signals, but you can observe them. This is how karma moves, energy cycling until it is seen, heard, and released. With each breath, let go of the old stories you no longer need. Old definitions, outdated frequencies, they are like dust leaving a bell as it's run clean. You don't have to force anything, just observe and allow. Each moment is a reset, a chance to choose again. Now let's bring our awareness to our heart center. This is your frequency tuner, in a sense. And ask it quietly, what energy do I choose to embody today? And let the answer arise without a need to force words. Maybe it's stillness or clarity or joy. Hold that feeling softly in your breath and let it ripple throughout your body, through your space, through your field. Take another deep breath. Now you're ready to move on into this session, more open and ready to learn. Thanks for being here today. Let's get started. So what is karma? It's a term that's been heard by many people because many practices have a concept of karma. But the nature of humanity is to overcomplicate things. So they add more onto it, and we see that reflected as we create our realities, which led to karma being a punishing or retributionary system in nature. At its core, karma literally means action, deed, or doing. I believe it's a Sanskrit word, and that was its literal definition. But karma is not punishment or reward, it's a reflective feedback. Your energy echoes back to you, so you can learn what it is that you're sending out. Basically, it acts as a mirror. If you're getting things you don't prefer, maybe you're acting in a way you're not preferring. You're putting out energy that you wouldn't be preferring. So we call this what you put out is what you get back. And that's the fourth law that we can know and we can experience. In classical terms, we see it as cause and effect, action and reaction, what have you. We can think of karma as a vibrational echo. To the nature of the density of our experience, there's a bit of a time lag for many of our mechanisms that would happen quicker at the higher frequencies. So this is why we see karma as something that will happen sometime later, we don't know when, and that's due to the density of our experience of 3D reality. In the higher frequencies, such as at the whole spirit level, everything that we put out is instantly reflected to us. So this time lag provides a bit of difference from those higher frequencies, an ability to have actions in between that may not be immediately affected by karma. Another example of something that's included in this slower mechanism is manifestation, is what we see, what is around us in our reality is instantly changeable at higher levels in spirit, but in 3D reality, it takes more time to bring it through. And this feedback tends to play into the illusion of separation, right? Even though you may be doing a lot of change, doing a lot of work on yourself, you may have those negative beliefs still when you don't see it within the timeline you expect to see the change reflected in your reality as a separation from all that is, something that's unfair or whatever you may be thinking. But it's not a personal thing, it's just mechanical how the system works. And in a sense, it's a necessary experience for all that is. We just happen to be in that system at this time. So it's not a divine judgment system. We're not being judged at the higher levels. Karma has been historically understood as do good and good things will happen to you, do bad and bad things will happen to you. This is technically what happens, but it's not the full understanding. So we want to divorce ourselves from this concept as we are dealing with more of a reflective mirror, which essentially makes do good, get good true. But there is no actual judgment going on behind the scenes as, say, many people will say, this person did bad to me, so they will be punished, and I trust that. That's not really what's going on. All that is doesn't moralize, it reflects resonance. So bad things that happen to you aren't necessarily punishments. They're mostly reflections of your unconscious and discordant beliefs within yourself. Remember, our beliefs, for the most part, form our frequency and put out that frequency to the universe, which reflects in our reality. So even if you're doing good, if you're holding on to negative beliefs and limiting beliefs, then that's what's actually doing a lot of the reflection into your reality. Second, why do good things happen to bad people? I mean, why do bad things happen to good people? Is a reflection of they may be doing good, but holding on to those negative beliefs, which cause in those less than preferred experiences for themselves. And then at the higher level, we have the life path that we set up before coming into 3D. So there are some experiences that are laid out for us to experience regardless of our current state as a challenge. So remember, karma overall is a balancing system that reflects our state. Um, when people talk about clearing karma, It's more so that when we recognize and correct ourselves in thought and belief, that reflection is then balanced. It goes back to neutral and allowing of whatever you're directing your manifestation into. So it doesn't take much to quote unquote clear your karma, just uh, acknowledging and correcting your belief system balances the system. Karmic cycles are the result of someone not learning their lessons of what they put out. So basically ignoring their challenges, always thinking that they are not responsible for what they're seeing in the sense that they just aren't aware that the challenges that they see are a reflection of themselves. So they can stick in karmic cycles because there are lessons that we have planned to learn in this lifetime. And if you keep ignoring them, they'll just build up on themselves. So every time you react instead of respond, it signals that you haven't learned how to deal with a situation from an aligned perspective. And when you receive the reflection fully, it'll resolve. The loop of distortion within yourself will collapse, and your frequency will rise as a reflection of being more of your true self. So karma is not fate. Some practices assign karma as almost equivalent to fate, but that is not technically what's going on. While we do sign up for themes of exploration that include certain experiences, how we choose to go about them involves free will. So I believe I've shared the example that our reality is an orchestration. Think of an actual orchestra. You have a piece of music that if you play along to, you'll be in harmony with everything else, but you have the choice to play however you want. We have soul agreements where we choose where, when, and how we come in from a higher perspective. We're never forced into anything in our existence. We always have the free will to choose from some level, even if we don't remember that in this life. It's part of the mechanism to go into darkness and be able to come back into light of our own will, of our own overcoming of challenges. So that turns karma into an overall teacher in our life for our chosen methods of expansion, of themes of exploration. And this means that we are not always doomed to repeat the past, just the lessons that you ignore. So as long as you integrate your lessons, you'll stop seeing anything that keeps replaying over and over again. And then some people fall into a trap when, as I said, the 3D reality reflection is a little slow to reflect our changes. So they may experience final tests And those can be used to confirm if you truly changed, because in that final test, you'll be able to respond instead of react to whatever the test is before reality fully converts to the new reality that you're going to be on as a changed person. There's a big focus on ancestral and past lives in the spiritual community, but this is largely misunderstood. Also, souls were created at the same time. There's no old soul, new soul. There are souls that haven't spent much time on Earth, and that can be considered a new soul. They just are not used to the Earth density. It's very shocking to them, and they may struggle. But with our themes of exploration, we select those in spirit, and those certain plans may overlap with existing threads like ancestral lines and other expressions. So we're never forced to take up any 3D karma from our ancestral lines. This is a important thing to remember. We've chosen to come into these lines to sort of attempt to break those loops and clear that karma generated from the ancestral lives. And then we have connections to other lives. Remember, everything is here and now, which means that linearly, someone in the past is experiencing that right now as well. So when we talk about having a connection to a past life, it's not literally you, because only you are here right now as a personality, but you can have a frequential association with someone in the past or in the future that helps to inform you on your current situation. So the exploration that we choose can serve this double duty in offering the opportunity to resolve, complete, heal, or transform both the soul and the energy of the collective reality. So as I said, past lives are a bit of a misperception from our linear perception. We can connect to other lives, so more closely to those that are more relevant, which we may feel as a past or future life of ourselves, but we are only ever this personality or spirit. All lives happen simultaneously as per the everything is here and now law. All those events already exist, all past and futures. It's just our experience that we're going through, created from the soul jumping through reality lines to create this experience and time, the sensation of time. So I've brought up frequency a few times now, but we'll go ahead and give a full understanding of what frequency is. Frequency is one of the intrinsic qualities of all that is, along with unconditional love, light, energy, consciousness, unity, oneness, infinite potential, stillness, peace, timelessness, creativity, compassion, intelligence, presence, abundance, non-dualisticness, joy, bliss, and the list goes on. Everything is energy in motion. Everything has a vibration, a rate of oscillation, and all forms, physical or non-physical, are patterns of vibrating energy at different frequencies, from thoughts to emotions to light. The universe is made of consciousness, and that consciousness also has frequencies. Your frequency reflects your state of being, your moment-to-moment energy, which includes many factors like thoughts, beliefs, and emotions, determines your personal frequency of the moment. And this is the frequency that reflects your experience, and your experience reflects your frequency. So, like I said, karma is a mirror that uses this frequency to determine what's being reflected back. So, in a sense, you can't perceive what you are not a vibrational match for. So, when I say this, think of your eyes. They match the frequency of the visible spectrum. Thus, they can perceive what is in that range. Same for your frequency. But we know that that's not the only range of visible light, because other things match or resonate with higher or lower frequencies and can pick up things like infrared or higher, such as ultraviolet, and gamma rays, that sort of thing. So we know that with that example, we can relate that to other sorts of frequencies because they'll work the same. Next, in spiritual circles, we have a misperception on the law of attraction. It's commonly used to draw people into spirituality by promising them the fast line to success, whatever they want, right? But that's going to be stemming from ego. What we really want to understand is what's going on underneath. So we know that we resonate with what matches our current energetic signature. That stuff is always going to be wanting to come in. When we don't see that, even when we're for the we are a match for it, it may be because we have beliefs that prevent those matches from occurring. And on the other side is we may be a high frequency and not seeing something come in because we're holding on to mismatches. I'll rephrase that too. We may be high frequency, but still see negativity that we may not prefer in that higher frequency because we're holding on to it. Yeah, that works better. So we can have this metaphor that if you want to see a smile on your face in a mirror, you don't go to the mirror to try to change it. You smile yourself. You make the change yourself, and the reflection reflects the change you've made, in this case, smiling. So next we have consciousness. Consciousness's frequencies determine what sort of dimensions, densities we are able to experience. Dimensions refer to the planes of existence, the structures or spaces where consciousness can operate, and densities refer to the vibrational frequency or levels of consciousness within those planes. Think of dimensions as different rooms in a building and the densities as floors within those rooms. So we have a general sort of levels of consciousness that will be relevant to us in this 3D experience. There are higher levels, but you'd be needing to surpass Jesus, the yogis, that sort of level, to become aware of those, to make them relative. So we can see at the lower levels, we have egoic behavior, and that's lower third density. This involves the physical mind, unconscious, subconscious, and conscious. Notice that the subconscious and unconscious are higher than the mind's conscious. We tend to think of them as beneath our consciousness. Subconscious sounds like beneath, but in our layers of how we are mechanically formatted, The subconscious lies on top of consciousness, the unconscious lies on top of the subconscious, and that's where our beliefs are held in the unconscious. Remember I said the beliefs need to be held in order for the emotions and thoughts to come through. It's because they're at a higher level than emotions and thoughts. So as you increase your frequency, you'll move into the higher third density. And this is the same sort of frequency where the collective automatic mind is, where we have a collective agreements, and the individual automatic mind, where we have individual themes. When we reach fourth density, there's something called the template reality, where there's blueprints laid out that direct how reality is formed. Higher than that, we have fifth density, which is the level of your higher mind. Sixth density of spirits, and so on. Next, we have the frequencies of emotions. I've said before, referenced that peace, joy, love, authenticity lies somewhere in here, are higher frequencies. This doesn't necessarily mean that they're bad or good or not providing a judgment value for these, but just mechanically speaking, they're at a different range. And each has a purpose, but the higher frequencies are more aligned with the soul and source. We want to understand that raising our frequency doesn't mean becoming quote unquote better, but being able to reflect maybe a more preferred experience for yourself. It's typically going to be a higher frequency experience. So when you're floating around down here, your reality will be more likely to reflect things that aren't preferred, right? If you prefer to live in joy, love, and reason, raising your frequency would be necessary to match that. So some ways to raise our frequency include healing, specifically letting go of limiting beliefs, negative beliefs, following your excitement, being yourself, doing what's truly aligned for you. When we align, we'll be in the authentic range up here, which enlightenment sort of encompasses being authentic. True authenticity would be reflecting your soul itself. By being present, you're not weighed down by the past or worried about the future. You can maintain positivity and high vibration emotions, but remember, we're not dismissing any negativity that we may perceive. We want to bring things back to neutral, even positive, and see where we can bring positivity into our experience of that event, be it lessons or new perspectives. Next, we can use permission slips such as breath work, meditation, embodiment to help us be more of our true selves. Our frequency determines our perception. What you perceive is based off of your frequency, what synchronicities you attract, what versions of others you interact with, the world reality you are in. Your reality is essentially a frequential lens. Shifting your frequency shifts you to a new reality that reflects that frequency. You can think of this as a radio tuner or a TV channel. All the frequencies exist and are out there, but you only perceive the one you're tuned to. Now I'll introduce a permission slip called mantra. Mantras are sound-based tools used across many spiritual traditions to focus the mind, regulate breath and emotion, and attune your energy to higher frequencies. The word mantra originates from Sanskrit, man, meaning mind, tra, meaning tool or instrument, and together being a tool for the mind. Repeating mantras, whether aloud, whispered, or silently, can create a vibrational alignment within the body and energetic field, helping you to bypass limiting thoughts and access deeper states of peace, clarity, and elevated consciousness. Because sound carries frequency, specific words and phrases can help shift your energetic state in real time. So we know many of us have heard things like Om in chakra or Buddhist practices. This Om is the frequency of the universe. So when we do that Om, we're aligning ourselves with the frequency of all that is. And whenever we perform these mantras, we want to feel the alignment, the embodiment of what we are saying and the resonant frequencies involved. We're not just saying the words like affirmations, we are truly feeling as if. So some mantras are, I am aligned with my highest joy. I radiate peace, presence, and power. I am light. I am love. I am here. Everything is happening for me, not to me. I trust the flow of life and let it guide me. Om Mani Padme Hum, a Tibetan mantra invoking compassion and inner transformation. Ramada Sa Sa Se So Hum, a Kundalini healing mantra believed to balance energies. So when you practice a mantra, you really feel the embodiment of something. When you say, I am light, really feel the light within you. I am love, feel the love within you. I'm here, feel the presence, feel the peace, the presence and power. Really resonate with what it means to be in those states. We had some questions come in. The recording, unfortunately, didn't go through. But one of the questions was, how can we decide what it is that we should focus on when trying to determine from all the things that I've shared, which are the things that we should work on. So remember, the idea of should is a word that we don't want to use in our vocabulary because it implies that you're not doing the thing, you're judging yourself when you apply the word should. You're not doing something you're supposed to be doing, quote unquote. But also, when we are looking at what would be most beneficial for you. You want to really trust your intuition, your gut feelings, not from the headspace. The headspace has those false structures that will tell you that you're overwhelmed, that will give you that sensation because they feel threatened. They know that when we are doing these practices to heal, that they are not going to be able to perpetuate themselves, which is one of their goals. Their beliefs are self-perpetuating. They recognize that when we do the practices that heal ourselves, then they no longer have a may no longer have a place within you, and they react in a way that provides sensations of overwhelm, anxiety, fear to keep themselves alive, keep themselves going. So the idea of finding what it is that truly resonates, what goals we should be setting, there should again, is to lay them out in a list and test your intuition on those things. Go through each of them, see how they feel for you. And if they truly do not have any difference between them, you might as well flip a coin or roll a dice or use a random generator. And remember that synchronicity, there are no coincidences, so synchronicity can bring you what it is that you would most benefit from, that is most aligned for you in that moment. When we have a lot of false structures making a lot of noise in our heads, that may be a sign that we want to do that integration work, that shadow work to address those distractions that are getting in the way of our true communication with our higher selves, knowing what's aligned with ourselves. That's why I introduce it early in the sessions as something that, when cleared out, provides a cleaner path for you instead of trying to struggle against those while you're integrating, while you're moving on with new topics. We want to remember that the guidance that we feel, if it's coming from the true self, it won't have urgency involved. That's a false structure sense. The negative ego will tell you things like, hurry, you have to do this, or you'll miss some XYZ. You'll be in danger if you change XYZ or something to that effect. So we want to recognize that true communication will feel more like knowing, just a shift in direction that you'll feel internally versus a worry in your head that's telling you, should I be doing this? Should I be doing that? You really want to just allow those communications to come through for you, through your gut, through your heart, and don't allow your false structures to sway your excitement, and don't allow yourself to be swayed by anxiety, which uses the same frequency as excitement. With that, that's the end of the session, and we'll go ahead and move on to the meditation for those who are interested. Thank you all for joining. All right, let's go ahead and gently close our eyes and remember the state of grounding that we achieved earlier. Remember that anytime we can remember a state, that automatically brings us into that state, even if it doesn't feel the same. Let's go ahead and let our bodies settle into stillness. Feel the support beneath you, the earth holding you. Take a deep breath in through your nose and exhale slowly through your mouth. And again. Let your awareness drop gently into your body. Feel your spine aligning, your shoulders softening, your face unwinding. Feel free to smile if you feel like it. There is nowhere else to be. You are here. Begin to bring gentle awareness to your breath, noticing not just the movement, but the vibration. Feel each inhale as a subtle tone, each exhale as a soft release. You are not just breathing, you are resonating. With every breath, you are tuning your field. With no judgment, just observation, does your breath feel high, tight, shallow, or slow and flowing deep into your belly? Each breath is a note in your personal frequency. And go ahead and let each breath deepen. Feel it like a soft current washing over energetic noise, static, mental chatter. Now let's go ahead and bring our mind, our awareness to the cycles we may feel stuck in, the habits, emotional loops, recurring lessons. This is karma, not punishment, but momentum of energy waiting to be made conscious. Let one example arise. It could be a dynamic with someone or a recurring fear, a pattern you know well. Don't get lost in the story. Instead, just feel it energetically. Where do you feel this in your body? What sensation comes with it? Sit there and observe for now. As you breathe, imagine this karmic loop as a knot of vibration. Not bad, just tangled. With each breath, you gently unwind that knot, not with force, but with loving attention. You are simply bringing light to it. You are saying, I see you, I thank you, you may resolve now. think about any lessons that may be gleaned from this event. What is it within yourself that allows that sort of occurrence to keep happening? In the future, what might be a way that you can respond in a more aligned way with who you know yourself to be? Okay, now let's bring both hands to your heart center and visualize a sphere of energy forming in your chest. This is your frequency signature, your chosen resonance. Begin to breathe into that sphere. With each inhale, draw in the energy that you choose to live by. With each exhale, release the distortions, the debris, the noise. Inhale clarity. Exhale confusion. Inhale peace. Exhale tension. Inhale freedom. Exhale attachment. Feel the vibration of your chosen state strengthening, humming in your field. Silently repeat to yourself, I am the vibration I choose. My frequency is mine to tune. I am releasing the past with ease and compassion. I align with the resonance of my highest truth. Let this chosen frequency fill your body, your aura, the room. Let it radiate outward, touching all you encounter in life. No effort, just being. Visualize your true self, either your future self. What is it that they do every day? How can you align your frequency to embody that state which you prefer? Let's take a few moments to keep that visualization in ourselves, in our minds. The future self that already exists, since everything is here and now. Feel their frequency. And align yourself with what it would feel like to be that future self. Continue breathing in the things that are aligned with the future self that we prefer, and exhale things we hold on to now which we don't prefer. Now slowly allow the images to fade. Let your breath return to a natural rhythm. Place one hand on your belly, one on your chest. Feel the stillness. Feel the lightness. Feel your new baseline. Remember, this is not something you achieved, but something you uncovered. Go ahead and sit in that stillness for a moment. When you feel ready, gently wiggle your fingers, your toes, stretch softly, and open your eyes. You are clear, you are tuned, you are free to choose. Karma is no longer a weight, it is wisdom. And your frequency is your guide. Thank you all for joining us today. Love you all. Have a good week.